Yep.
And then start streaming and then go live. Hit go live?
Yep.
Welcome to the Steve and Andy Show with your hosts, Steve Leibel and Andrea Lutz.
Yeah, I like the applause on the end of there. It's a nice little extra touch. Might as well use all the buttons.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How's it been, buddy?
It's been good.
I haven't seen you all week long.
I've been on a
vacation.
I've been on a 3-week vacation.
Yeah. How's that been?
Well, the first one I got COVID. I guess we could tell people that now. I had the vid.
Were you did you feel ashamed that you didn't want anybody to know?
Not really. I didn't really care.
Don't you feel like it is kind of like that though? You just said we can tell people now.
Yeah.
Like it's like
you had an STD or something like that. Yeah.
Although you probably wouldn't be going on live saying, "Yeah, I had an STD.
Yeah.
I can tell people now."
Yeah. I had the SIF.
Have you ever had an STD?
No.
Liar.
No, I don't know how I haven't.
Really?
I'm just joking.
You dipped your stick in a few dirty holes or what? Well, this sure escalated quick.
No kidding. Jesus.
I think you're blushing.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay. Let's
okay, so what the heck was I doing? Okay, so yeah, I had a week off because I had the vid.
Yeah.
And
so technically, did you have a week off or were you still working from home?
Well, I was still working from home, but I was tired when I had it.
Yeah.
I was kind of.
You were ill.
The first couple days, I felt like I was hungover. Mm-hmm. And then.
And you thought you were hungover.
And I thought I was hungover because I went out Friday night.
Well, and you had just come off a big weekend, a big football weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I just thought I was kind of under the weather. But then Monday night after curling, I felt perfectly fine Monday night. And I went out and I curled and I started hacking after. I was like, ha, ha, ha. So, and then I woke up in the morning and my throat hurt because I was coughing so much all night. And I'm like, I better not go to work.
Yeah.
So then I was like, bring the rapid tests. So I did that and tested positive a couple times. And then Tuesday I lost my taste.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday and Wednesday I lost my taste and my smell.
So did you eat less because you lost your taste?
No. No, I didn't lose my appetite. The glutton that I am.
Well, that's kind of what I found too. I'm like, oh, good, I can't taste. At least I won't be eating a bunch of stuff. But it's not like when you're sick and you don't feel like eating stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
you don't have a stomach flu.
No, I know. But you'd think if you couldn't taste, you would have less of an appetite if you knew you wouldn't be able to taste it.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yes. Yeah. So Wednesday, Thursday, but it scared the shit out of me because I had heard all these people losing their taste for 2 months. Mm-hmm. And I love food a lot and smelling and stuff like that. It's weird when you don't have 2 of your senses.
Uh-huh.
You only got 5 of them and you don't have 2 of them. But you're kind of effed up.
You don't really notice when you can't smell.
Well, yeah. There's things that should smell that they don't smell. And then you're a little, okay, does it smell?
Why, you're just leaving a trail of fart clouds
like a big ripper. Yeah. And you don't smell
and you
it.
couldn't smell it?
Yeah, and then I don't know if it was stinky or not.
Well, why does it matter? You're farting around other people?
Well, every once in a while you let one out.
Crop dust at work?
Yeah.
Do you?
The worst is when you think you're good and you're in your own office and you're like, okay, I think I could do this. And then somebody walks in. I know, you're like, oh. You're like, you better leave. You better leave for a minute.
What's the most embarrassing fart story that you have?
Oh, man. We're going straight to fart stories.
What if we're talking about farts?
Well, COVID. Okay, so then I want to finish up on COVID. So then Thursday I felt perfectly fine. And I got about 50% of my smell and taste back.
Quick, hey?
Yeah, by Friday I was 100%. Yeah, so it was about 4 days.
Friday, you were 100%. Which Friday was that? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you went and played. No, you didn't. What?
Sorry. I heard some sound. I went and played. Yeah, Friday I was good. I tested myself Friday at noon and I was negative and I felt perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm getting out of here.
So then the next week you went where? Nowhere.
I had the week off.
Yes.
I was a legit week off that I had planned
February
like
break.
a month ago.
Uh-huh.
I planned that a month ago because I had all these holidays I got to use up for spring. So I had that, did nothing,
Yeah.
didn't leave the house.
Because it was so cold. It was
It
February
was
break.
minus 40.
I had the kids at home and none like I didn't have to go to work either.
Yeah.
And I wanted to at least do something fun, go skiing or sledding or something, but it was too cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was tough.
I felt like a wasted week.
Yeah, it was kind of shitty that we didn't do anything. We had planned on doing something, or I had planned on doing some things, and nothing came to fruition.
Well, we were gonna maybe go into Saskatoon, but we never.
Yeah, do
made
like a
it
city
there.
trip or something.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
And then this week, sorry, be quick. We won't tell much, but I was in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Vancouver for the week. So yeah,
a business
a
trip.
business trip.
And how was the weather?
It was lovely. It was plus 10 and kind of rainy off and on, but you could walk outside in a bunny hug. And have you ever been to Vancouver?
I've never been there.
The downtown's kind of neat. It's like a legit big city.
Yeah.
And it's clean.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of old buildings mixed in with new high rises and lots of shopping, like high end shopping and
Was
stuff
that the
like that.
first time you were ever there?
Yeah. No, I was there one other time,
Oh yeah.
but I didn't do anything really. Just didn't leave the hotel.
But you went skiing there this time.
Yeah, we went to Mount Seymour, which is a little mountain just outside of Vancouver, about an hour. But it was weird because it was like there was snow there and quite a bit of snow, but it was like +6. So the snow was like slush and it was raining.
While you were skiing.
Yeah, it was +6 and
Did
raining.
it get icy?
It didn't get icy, it was slush.
Oh.
So it was okay if you stayed on the groom part of the hill, like anything that was groomed. But as soon as you went to a spot that wasn't groomed, you were just like, "Whoop."
Did you have any wipeouts?
No, I didn't wipe out
None?
once.
You wipe out at Wapiti, but not at the hill.
I didn't wipe out at the hill. I skied fairly cautious because I had never skied in those conditions before.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, and I was with a couple guys that were pretty good skiers. So
Well, that's good. Sounds like you had a great time.
yeah, I had a blast.
I didn't.
You didn't do anything this week, eh?
Well, this week I was at work, but only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because Monday and Tuesday I had some sort of weird friggin' flu.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited to go back to work because I was so bored the whole week that I had off. Excited to go back to work, and then Sunday at about 2 a.m, I started
Vomiting out of both holes.
Yes. And I had that, when it's so bad and it's like, okay, which am I going to do first? Because you have to barf and you have to shit both at the same time. If this has never happened to you?
That's never happened to
Really?
me before. Never.
Oh my God.
At the same
At
time?
the same time. So you got to make the choice. And I'm like, I don't want to shit and then have to barf into there. So I'm going to barf first. So I went to barf first.
Did you have an accident?
I did.
Oh! We got to put a disclaimer on this podcast before.
It was the worst. It was nonstop, like every 45 minutes. And I thought, and this started at 2 a.m, and I thought, okay, this is like a 12-hour flu. By morning, I'll be done puking. I'll be on the road to recovery in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I didn't stop throwing up till 8:30 that next night.
Yikes.
It was rough. So I stayed home Tuesday as well. And so, yeah.
So you just like when you puke that much, it's all just like stomach bile at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And dry heaving.
Everywhere. Dry heave. And like for the rest of the week, my chest and body was so sore from puking, like from like retching and headache and dehydrated. Oh, yeah. It was rough.
That is a rough week.
Rough times. Yep.
I did, yeah.
But it was a short week at work.
Yeah.
So that's
3-day
the
work
upside.
week.
And always you feel so like after you've been sick and then you get healthy. Yeah, you feel so good and revitalized and cleansed out because like you're cleaned out, right? You got a fresh slate. So I filled it up with guacamole. Again.
Guacamole. Good to go. Replenish
I've been
the
having
tank.
like fresh homemade guacamole for supper every night for 3 days. Yeah.
I actually was eating breakfast one morning in a night. We were staying in a nice hotel and they had a really nice restaurant. And me and Pat were eating breakfast together. And the first thing on the menu was this toast with avocado and egg and then like arugula. Mm-hmm. And that made me think of you.
Oh, yeah.
With all the avocado on there. Every time I see or taste avocado, I think of you. 'Cause you're like the only one I eat it with.
I love it so much. It's so good on everything. And when I make my guacamole, I mix it with like plain Greek yogurt.
Oh,
it makes
yeah.
it just fluffy and creamy. It's so delicious.
And it doesn't go brown when you do that.
Well, I still put lime juice in it, but then I don't use sour cream. I use that instead of sour cream. Just mix it all together.
So for those of you listening and watching tonight, we've got a new producer behind the computer.
Oh, yeah. We haven't even gone there.
Yeah, so Rochelle Brown on the ones and twos.
It's been a while. Been a while since Brownie made it.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Talk right into that thing, Rochelle.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
There you
speak
go.
Gotta get right up in here.
Yeah. What have you been doing?
Just working.
Oh, yeah.
Cutting mohair.
Yeah, I don't do anything else. I
That's
work.
a lie.
I go home. I work. I go
Have
home.
you? Okay. What about spin? Have you tried the spin yet? Are we doing it or what?
No, yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is spin class?
Mondays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Is that when it's on?
Yeah. Are you gonna try it out?
Yeah.
I might give it. I might dabble.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
come
You
do
would like
spin
it
with
because
us.
like the music's bumping and it's dark in there with lights.
Maybe
and
I'll
stuff.
DJ the spin class.
Like it's so
From my
much
bike.
fun.
Yeah.
You always say you need somebody to make you go and work out.
Oh man, Rochelle. Okay, so I've been sending these gun show pics to all of my buddies after I work out because I've been getting jacked. And I always send them to Steve to try and motivate you because you keep saying you got to
I know.
keep at
I'm
me.
the worst.
But you did go today.
I did go today.
And that's the first time in like 3 weeks?
Just before I had COVID.
Yeah. And how does it feel?
It feels good.
Yeah.
I did chest and tries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting the big solid pump on.
Oh yeah.
Pumping those boobies.
Okay, so I went last night, and I normally go around like 4:35, 6-ish. That's like the latest I go.
Yeah.
But last night I was really struggling with myself, forced myself to go, and Mercedes was trying to talk me out of going because she wanted me to stay home. So I didn't get there till 7:38. What a meat market in there last night. That's when all the dudes go to the gym.
At night?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
just it was packed full of guys in there.
Yeah.
So I would totally avoid those times.
I'm like, holy shit, like you could barely even get a machine.
Yeah. It does get busy in there sometimes. But actually, the best time is at 5 o'clock.
That's when I usually like to go.
Yeah. Like every time I've gone, there's maybe 4 or 5 people in there. Right before supper and then over supper.
Yeah, right.
That's a good time. So what are we going to do? You've got a computer in front of you tonight.
Yeah, I'm all excited because I was I got stuck in a TikTok wormhole. So do you go on TikTok very often?
Every now and then.
Okay. Well, I was totally avoiding it, but then now you always see the videos in your Facebook feed, right? And I've been also like way too attached to my phone this last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been getting stuck on there, just watching these videos, like just like for an hour, I'll catch myself sometimes. So anyways, one of the ones that I was repeatedly coming up on my feed was this chick's podcast, and I can't remember what it was called. I should have wrote it down. But it's basically just this blonde chick, probably looks like in her early 20s, and she just sits on her couch and talks to her friends and goes through Reddit and just reads out questions on Reddit, and they talk about like their opinions about stuff or whatever. It's just good conversation starters.
So what is Reddit for the folks out there that don't know what Reddit is?
Well, it's just a website, but I don't know, like what would you classify Reddit as?
It's kind of like a thread. Like somebody comes up with a topic and then you can just go on there and say your opinion about that topic.
People just ask questions and
it's like a room. Yeah. Kind of like an old chat room.
Yeah. But it's anonymous, right? So like
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about what you're saying. It's not like you're going to go on Facebook and be like, my 23-year-old boyfriend slept with my 13-year-old sister, blah, blah, blah. What do I do about it?
Right.
Like, that's the kind of stuff you see on Reddit, like crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's like an opinion. Like people will generally go on there when they have a question about something that's bugging them. Or
anything.
How do you put up a metal door? Overhead door.
Yeah, really, anything.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting. Like she was always reading relationship advice ones, but like, okay, so I search up on here, and there's all kinds of stuff. People, okay, so do you want to go to? No, I won't. I won't do that.
You just fire away, and we'll.
Well, this one says people who dry wipe after pooping. Why?
Okay, that I want a bidet in the worst way.
Really?
Like a what do they call them? Tushies?
I'm comfortable with a dry wipe.
I have one.
Do you?
I don't
I wanna
like
come
the
use it.
idea of a wet bum.
No.
I'd rather dry wipe until the toilet paper's clean.
Okay, this is
I don't want a wet bum.
this is the argue for a bidet or a tushy is when you get mud all over your hands. Do you just like rub your hands together with paper towel to clean it? No, you use water.
Yeah, but you're not using your butthole to make your sandwiches either. Like your butthole is your butthole. It's a little bit different than your hands.
I don't know. I like a clean butthole.
Well, of course, everyone likes a clean butthole. But
I think I over wipe. Like I wipe it to the point where it almost gets raw. But because I want it to be clean. So I think if you had a tushy or a bidet or any of those things, you wouldn't have to wipe so much, and it would be more environmentally friendly because you wouldn't.
Don't you think if you wipe till the toilet paper's clean, it's clean?
Yeah, but I never trust that.
Really?
Yeah.
Why have you?
Have
you ever been surprised by a streak?
I always give her a few extra wipes after. It's like, we good, bud?
Well, more than a few if you think you rub it till it's raw.
Maybe you don't buy good enough toilet paper.
The brown star is now the red star.
Yeah. But the good toilet paper, you got to be careful because that's the shit that plugs up the.
I know. That's
plugs
what
up
the
the pipes.
plumber's telling me.
Like Garrett Curry, buddy of mine, he says, first thing he asks when if I ever plug my sewer, he's like, "What kind of toilet paper do you use?"
Yeah, do you use Purex?
No, Cashmere.
Oh,
the Cashmere is the bad stuff. The Purex is okay as long as it's not like 3-ply, like 2-ply Purex is. Mm-hmm. That's the shit.
Literally.
I learned something new today. I didn't know there was good toilet paper and bad toilet
Well,
paper.
if it's thick and absorbent, it's gonna swell up and plug up your pipes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes
That's
sense.
He said like 80% of the toilets that get plugged, it's because people use like Cashmere toilet paper and just hammer it down the toilet.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Okay, here's one. Who would be allowed to spit in your mouth?
Who would be allowed to spit in my mouth?
No one.
Yeah.
I want to see what somebody answered to this. Well, if you had a significant other, like you're basically spitting in each other's mouths.
Yeah, but nobody's horking a loogie in my mouth.
Was that like spitting might not necessarily be like, okay, let's get a big old snot ball here.
There's no good answers here.
Yeah.
That was an ugly one.
But that's like a fetish. Some guys have that.
Everything's a fetish. Everything's a fetish.
Spit fetish?
Oh, dude, if shit can be a fetish,
Yeah.
spit can be a fetish.
It's like, open up. Here it comes. It's like you're feeding a bird. like a mother feeding a baby bird.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to go to a different thread.
Yeah, you need to go down a different rabbit
Let's go to some
hole on Reddit.
intellectual ones.
Intellectual? Well, we're using a computer from 1985 here, so everything is slow.
No, it's just a $200 computer. It's brand new.
Is it?
Well, like 3 years old.
I can't even find the search bar. I'm new to Reddit.
Mama Sherry says hi from Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Is she the only one watching?
No, we have 10 people.
Oh, who's watching? How's it going? What are people doing tonight?
Brandon says, yeah, spin.
Oh, yeah.
I say, yeah, spit. He's like, yeah, I really enjoy the spit conversations.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kara says, Andrea, you look sexy.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's the glasses.
It totally is the glasses. I know. That's why I'm wearing them. I like the way they look. I've always liked glasses and always wanted glasses. Like I even used to try to lie on my eye exams.
That's a W, not a D.
But they would never give me glasses, and I'm like, I totally know that I was telling you they're wrong. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So I ordered these blue light blocker glasses
Yeah.
because I look at screens a lot. Okay, here's a question for you. What is unbearable at 100%, but at 65% is awesome?
Ooh, that's a thinker. Off the top of my head,
I'd say the volume of my phone. The volume of my headphones.
I can't say it.
Say it. What? A blowjob?
No. This is very sexist, but I'm going to say it because it was the first thing I thought of. Women that are into sports.
Okay, so if they're too into sports, it's over the top.
It's like unbearable.
Oh, really?
But if you're like 65% into it,
do you know women like that are 100% into sports and it's unbearable?
I'm going to get so much hate mail, but or that like try to be too into sports to impress people.
Do you think they're just into it to impress people, or do you think they're actually into it?
I don't know.
Okay,
It's
I have to admit this, and I might get more hate than you, but for a really long time, it really annoyed me to see so many female broadcasters on the sports channels, because I really thought that the only reason they were putting good-looking women on there was to appeal to the male sports crowd.
Yeah, it's not that at all.
However,
They're trying to be more equality in
exactly.
broadcasting.
And I've
male.
realized that a lot of these female broadcasters actually know their shit, and they're
Yeah,
very
some
good.
of them are really good.
Yeah, really good.
Actually, there was
but they would be classified as 100% into sports,
yeah.
right? And you think that's over the top?
But like you know, it's like almost obnoxious. Like I'm the biggest Ryder fan in the world. Like,
And you don't think that they could be the biggest?
they
Ryder
might
fan?
be, but just like it's just very like
What would you equate
over
it,
the top.
What would you equate it to if the roles were reversed?
Where like men are more casual about it. They're like more, yeah, I'm a Ryder fan. And
you
and
don't think there's been a million drunk men at football
when they're
games
drunk, for sure.
going, I'm the biggest Ryder
But you might know a guy's not the biggest Ryder fan, but then you go into his garage and it just looks like a Ryder
Shrine.
football team puked all over his garage.
Well, a lot of people are like that with Ryder stuff, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bandwagon thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's one answer was that one friend. You know the one. We all have one. You can take them at 65%, but not at 100%. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
And someone said, if you don't think you have that friend in your group, you may be the one. Preach.
You got a comment? Okay, good. I'm just waiting for all the hate mail to come my way. Yeah, that's true. I've know a few of those folks, but I'm not going to name names because that's mean.
Oh.
I'll talk to you about them behind their back.
Oh.
Save that
Nice.
for the after show.
Oh, somebody said how full your stomach is.
Oh, yes. Yes, that is huge. Okay, so when we were in Vancouver, we went out to some really nice restaurants.
What's the best meal you had?
I had it twice. I had sable fish,
Sable.
which is like an Atlantic black cod or something like that. It is delicious. It's just
Are you a fish guy normally? Like, do
love
you like,
fish.
Really? Okay.
But you're in Vancouver, you're on the ocean. If you go to a seafood place, you got to have
Yeah.
seafood, right? So sable fish, it's like a big piece of white fish, like white meat fish, and it's in flakes, and it's really buttery.
There's no bones.
No bones. It's this big chunk, and it's amazing. So I had it twice. But where I was going with that is at those really good restaurants, I find that the portion sizes are perfect.
Because you get enough,
You just get the right amount,
not too much.
not too much.
Because you find if you get too much, you eat it all anyway.
I eat it all and I feel like shit and want to go out and party with the boys after. And you're like, nope, I want to go back and crush the bathroom and go to bed.
Yeah. So you didn't do that? You didn't? You went out?
Yeah,
partied?
went out. Yeah.
You guys had a good time?
Yeah, with the first night we saw some live music. I sent you a couple Snapchats.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. I miss live music. That must have been nice.
I talked to Jay a couple weeks ago, and he is trying to line up some bands to come to the bar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
For when?
Like in the next couple months.
Right on.
Yeah.
And rodeo's coming up.
Yeah, so dance floors are open. If anybody's living outside of Saskatchewan watching this, we're completely open in Saskatchewan.
Well,
now.
a lot of places other than Saskatchewan are
BC
too.
isn't.
No.
It's closed right down. Masks. You got to show your vaccine passport everywhere you
yeah?
go. Everywhere. Yeah, it was like people walking down the street wearing masks. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm. What I think is crazy now is actually seeing people's mouths. Like, have you noticed how weird that is?
But doesn't it just brighten you up?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. But I mean, it shocks me because, well, even for example, where I work, a lot of these people, I haven't seen their mouths
Ever.
I started working there 6 months ago.
Right?
I don't see them without a mask. So now I'm seeing these teachers and they don't have a mask on, and it's like, man, that's not what I imagined your mouth to look like.
When some people you like almost forget how like pretty they are, or like good looking they are.
I've noticed a lot of people are like I imagine them to be better looking.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the total opposite. When I can see somebody smile and they're smiling all the time, like with a mask on.
Well, you know what I think it is?
I think it's
it's
attractive.
that everybody's mouth looks so small to me right now because
Yeah, maybe.
with the mask, I don't know if it's because the mask takes up so much of your face that it changes your perception of proportions, right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden this mask is gone and everybody's mouth looks so tiny
So
to me.
tiny.
Yeah.
Unless they got a big ass smile going on. Yeah, it was nice to go to the grocery store today, and about half the people were still wearing masks in there, but the other half weren't, and it was
There's
nice to
a lot
see
of-
some faces.
There's a lot of kids at school still wearing them.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not a lot, but some. Okay, how about this? A surprisingly high amount of people, adults, still sleep with a comfort item. What's yours? What do you like? What's comforting to you when you go to sleep?
I don't really have one. Just the space in my bed. That's comforting to me.
Oh, like I don't have an item or anything, but I have to be surrounded by pillows and blankets and like have every crevice just shoved full of a pillow or a blanket or something.
Really?
Like I'm packed in there, like my blankets and pillows are around me, just like packing peanuts, you know?
Wow.
So I'm like perfectly cradled when I sleep. I like that. But my son is 14 and he still likes to snuggle with his blankie from when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He'll carry it around everywhere. He doesn't give no shits. Who knows that?
I think that's a thing. I never had a blankie
No,
growing up. No.
I don't know if I did, but my kids each had one when they were babies because it was like the baby blanket. Luke was like he when he was a baby, he had this blanket. He used to suck on the end of it all the time, and it would stink so bad. You'd have to get it away from him to wash it, and it would
Just
stink.
saliva
They
and
hated it at
food.
the daycare because it was just gross. Rochelle, you don't have a comfort item? Your cats?
Yeah, my cats, pretty much.
That's what I've noticed mine's
Yeah.
become too. He comes and crawls up and snuggles right
Yeah.
behind my legs.
I do have a weighted blanket though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
got
would
it
bug
for
me.
I think I've had it like 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get claustrophobic thinking of a weighted blanket.
It's not too heavy though.
So are you do you like to be tucked into your sheets, like your sheets in underneath the mattress, like tucked really tight?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's the worst.
I don't like that. I like
Oh, I
everything
love it.
free flowing, but
No.
like right touching everything on me, but able to move because I like to move around lots when I'm.
I don't even like blankets over past my knees, like just on my middle torso.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unless I'm in a new place and I'm scared and I don't know if it's haunted, then I put the blankets over my
Are you being
whole body.
serious right now?
No.
Do you get scared if there might be something hiding under your bed? You don't like your foot hanging off
Yeah,
the
do
edge?
you let your toes hang over the edge?
I don't let my toes hang over the edge of a
No.
bed.
Why? Just because you don't like how it feels, or are you scared of something?
Something's gonna grab you.
Maybe.
Really?
It must be. Must be subconscious because I never have my toes hanging over a bed. Even if it's a small bed, I curl up in a ball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the worst song ever?
The worst song ever.
I would suggest anything by ABBA. I hate ABBA.
I like ABBA.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, yeah. That's another one.
I don't like that.
I don't get it.
It's played way too much. Every wedding I've ever been to plays that song, and every time I feel my eyes rolling into the back of my head because I'm like, oh,
I don't get it. Yeah, why is it? Why do people like
It's
it
a
so
good
much?
song during midnight lunch
Why?
when everybody's like not on the dance floor and everybody's just sitting around eating and you just bobbing and having your bun.
No, maybe I don't know.
But not in the middle. Not when the dance is like peak bumping and then they play Sweet Caroline. That's the worst.
Yeah, I do not enjoy that song.
Do you have people request it very often?
Yeah. The most requested song of all time is "Fishing in the Dark."
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
By a landslide?
100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Still, hey?
"Fishing in the Dark."
Why do you think that is?
If I don't play it in the first hour, I usually have
do you think it's
3 or
because
4 people get up and request it.
Do you think it's because it's easy to dance to, or because people have like emotional ties and memories
I think
tied
both.
to it?
I think both, and the intro is so iconic.
Yeah.
and
It makes you wanna dance.
Pumps you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That don't.
Greg Nelson says Paradise by the Dashboard Light. And Sherry says, I hate ABBA too, but the worst song ever is Boogie Woogie Dancing Shoes.
Yeah.
Some people just love ABBA though.
I like ABBA. I thought the
Of
blonde
course
chick.
you
I thought
do.
the blonde chick was so hot.
Yeah, but do you like the music?
It's all right. It's poppy. It's catchy.
Okay, here's something. What's a weird thing that happens in your body you should probably ask a doctor about but haven't?
You got one?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind for me is like my heart shit. Like, for example, this morning, I was feeling fine while I was getting ready for work. I didn't even hardly have any coffee, like that much of a cup of coffee. I get to work, I walk in the door. All of a sudden, I just feel like, oh, fuck, here we go. My heart starts beating all crazy. I have 2 different heart conditions, right? So I'm waiting for it to pass. I'm like, I took a couple heart pills. Usually, if I get an episode, it'll be fine right away. I sat there. I had to go lay down for like an hour at work. And it was getting so bad. I checked on that. You know, you can do an ECG on your
Yeah.
your iPhone or Apple Watch, whatever the fuck. My heart rate was like at 178. And normally
Jeez, that's high.
normally at resting, it's like 68.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, right around 60 to 70.
Yeah, it was bad. And I never, ever want to go into the hospital because they totally hold you hostage there. So I was fighting it, but I was just at the point where I was going to go in. It was right before the bell rang at 9 o'clock. And I thought, okay, after the bell rings, I'll get somebody to drive me to the hospital. Then the bell rang, and it was like almost like that. And instantly, my heart just flipped back into a regular rhythm. And I felt like 100% fine. Like I had been like blacking out and couldn't get breath. And
Is it
everything.
anxiety?
I don't think so. Like it's legit.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. And I don't know. But anyway, it totally just like that flipped back and I felt like $1 million. And I think that's fucking weird. And it's weird how they can't figure out what's causing it. Like they've tried 2 different procedures to try and fix it. Even the medication I'm on, it's just like, well, try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like they don't even know why that particular medication is working for whatever. It's just a mystery. So that's weird, but it's something I have asked a doctor about, and you just get,
Yeah.
I can't
You're
figure it out.
fine. You're healthy.
I also have a couple moles that are getting bigger that I should probably.
Well,
I've noticed on my back, like there's a spot that's like itchy all the time.
Yeah.
So then you could feel it there. So I started looking, and it's like, yeah, there's definitely a couple bigger moles that I never had before, but I'm starting to be covered in sunspots now.
I've got a little lump, like on my hip.
Oh yeah.
And I've just always attributed it to being like a little calcium thing.
Oh yeah.
Because it's been the same size and it's been there for
Yeah.
as long as I can remember.
I
probably wouldn't hurt to get it checked out.
I think that too. I have something like that just right on my inner thigh there, but I always think it's been the same for the last 10 years. It's
it doesn't
probably
hurt.
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, in my family, checking up is a good thing to do.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go check?
I should get her checked
out.
I haven't been to a doctor for an actual checkup in forever.
Yeah, it's something we all avoided doing, I think, during COVID because you were kind of...
Unless there's an issue.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
But even when there is an issue, I find I avoid going in until it's absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are some things you realized when you got mature? Or has this happened yet for you?
Oh, man. One thing that I've become less selfish as I've matured and put what I do and how it affects other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think more about that, my actions and how it okay, if I do this, how is it going to affect you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like emotional maturity is something that comes with age.
Yeah.
And relationships, like with not just relationships, but relationships with everybody that you come across by the time you're 36, 35 or whatever, you've had to learn probably a lot of lessons in dealing with other people and how your actions affect other people, right?
Yeah.
Something you realized when you got mature. I feel like I'm just starting to get mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think different people mature at different points in their life.
Rochelle's laughing at me, but I'm fucking serious right now. Like, not that I even feel mature, but I've just started in the last couple of years now that I've really had to take care of everything on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I've really had to learn what it means to be a responsible adult. All on your own, all by yourself. I'm in charge of 3 little people. I'm in charge of myself. I have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
So I had to really step it up in a lot of ways.
It's not a bad thing.
No,
to have independence. It's always that thing about, is it better to have somebody to rely on to help you, in situations, or if you have issues, you can talk to that person about it. But dealing with shit on your own is healthy too.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what I realized though, and this was kind of an epiphany for me, is that I have an amazing support system in my life. Without being with a partner, or being with anyone or whatever. I've got the most amazing support system in my family and my friends, everybody. So really not having that other person to depend on is just, for me, and this comes with being more mature, is not having that other person to blame for shit also. Because now it's all on me. Like whatever decisions I make, whatever things are happening in my life, I'm responsible for. I can't blame somebody else. I can go and ask my family for help, but I can't blame anybody else for how it's been. And I found in the past that that's something that I've found myself doing sometimes. Is if shit goes wrong, there's always that other person that's like, okay, well, this was both of us, right?
Or the other person.
Or the other
100%.
person, right? Yeah. So
it's easy to put blame on others.
So now it's just me, and I have to be accountable for my actions and for how I live my life. So that's how I feel like I've matured more in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's good.
It's deep.
That's great. That is deep.
It's been good. It's been good for me. If your brain was an actual place, what would it be like? Oh, tell me this, Stephen.
My brain?
What does Stevie's brain look like?
My brain would look like Las Vegas.
A gaming section, a sports section, gambling section, a music section.
Everything's beautiful and big, and there's things running around. It's just busy. I don't really, there's not a whole lot of solitude going up in this brain. But yeah, just fun. Just, be a good time to hang out in my brain, I think.
Yeah.
I'm usually thinking of the light things of a situation.
Would you not call yourself a deep thinker? Or
No, I don't think I am.
Really?
I'm analytical, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit, like I think about things a lot, but I'm not like a deep thinker and serious, and I'm usually easygoing, but I think about things a lot. Like I'll sit by myself and just
ponder. Do you ponder philosophical things?
No.
I do all the time.
Do
I'm
you?
obsessed with it.
I need to more. I think it would make me a healthier person and mentally, but
like philosophical, spiritual, emotional shit. That's my jam. That's why I'm always reading self-help books. That's why I'm always watching card readers on YouTube and listening to that kind of shit. Like I love stuff that stretches the boundaries of your imagination of our physical world, of what else is out there in terms of energy and the unseen, like the unseen forces in the world that we live in. I think there's so much more to what's going on and than anybody even.
You think so?
Can put their finger on. Oh, 100%.
See, I'm not spiritual. I'm not philosophical. I always, when I think about things, I think about like the shitty things and then how to make them fun.
Like, what do you mean?
Like I always think about how can I have
example.
fun? I want to have fun and I want to be happy.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to think about. Is
Okay.
Happy thoughts.
Okay. So you think like pondering spiritual, philosophical things would give you shitty feelings?
I think it would.
Really?
I think thinking about being spiritual and outside forces affecting me, and I just don't think that would be healthy for myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just, again, the blame thing. You could always blame things on outside forces affecting the
But I don't see it that way.
circumstances.
I see it the opposite way. Like what I believe is that we can harness the energies of the universe and work with the universe. Like the universe is your co-creator. So you're working with the energies of the universe to form your realities, basically.
I want to take credit if something good happens in my life.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like, oh, it was God that did that. No, it was me. I manifested that.
Well, exactly.
Right?
Manifestation.
Right. Like I made that happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't a being or a spirit or a deity that put me on this path. It was because of the decisions I made that got me to where I am.
Exactly. And that is manifestation. But how were you able to do that?
Just logic,
Magic?
thinking logically.
And where did thoughts come from?
From this Vegas brain. So
In my belief, our thoughts come from source.
Yeah.
Our thoughts come from the energies, the collective energies of the universe.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. That's a paradigm that I have.
Uh-huh.
I learned that word this week in sales training.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of your beliefs, right?
For sure.
Or your preconceived notions and thoughts.
Yeah.
But my paradigms, I find, again, back to the maturing thing, have definitely switched a lot as I mature.
Yeah.
Right? The way you think about certain things, whether it's politics or relationships or kids even, right? Like I used to think, kids. But now you're like, oh, kids.
Yeah, I see kids a lot differently now that I work at the school.
Yeah.
I used to be really fucking annoyed with kids. Like, I didn't like kids, really, for the most part. Other than my own kids, other people's kids, that's something that is better at 65% rather than
Other people's
100.
kids?
Yeah.
I look at
But
go
working
ahead.
at the school,
Yeah.
now I have so much more compassion and love for all these little kids, and they're so cute, and like they're just all their own little personal, unique little creatures. It's amazing.
And And the thing about us as adults and humans and role models, I've noticed just in the past maybe 10 years, the amount that we affect kids by the things and the actions we do, that we affect how they grow up and how they think about the world. And like, it's powerful.
Just being an adult in the world makes you so influential to
yes.
the
And you
next
don't even
generation.
know it.
You don't even realize it.
No.
And you don't even realize who's watching or who's paying attention.
Yeah.
Like not even your own kids. Other people's kids are picking up on what other people's parents are doing too. Other people's kids are picking up on other people they see in the community. Like it's important. And that's something that comes with maturity, I guess, too.
And a big thing I always try to do is acknowledge that generation. Just even like saying, "Hey, man, how's it going?" Like if you see like little Grady Mamer in the rank, like, "Hey, Grady,
Well,
how was your hockey game?"
You probably remember being a little kid, and when an adult would engage with you, you felt important.
Absolutely.
Because back in my day, when we were kids, adults pretty much would ignore you a lot of the time or tell you, "Okay, go play. We've got partying to do."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? But if kids were, when an adult would engage with you, you felt like they really saw you and took the time. And
it's asking a question. It could be just asking an open-ended question to a kid.
And you never know what the answer is going to be.
No.
Too. That's the awesome part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love it. Yeah. Oh, kids are cool. My perception and my thinking about kids has changed 180 in the last 5 years.
What was your perception of kids 5 years ago?
I just thought they were there, and like, because I didn't have any, I didn't think that they were that important. You know, but I now I realize how important they are in the next generation and how we're affecting that.
Well,
that we've got to acknowledge them and make sure we're doing the best we can to be good human beings in the eyes of the next generation.
I was thinking about this today because I've said this before, and it's like I really wonder with the state of the world right now if I even want my kids to have kids. Like if I would even even encourage them to have kids.
I think you do.
I think of course I would want them to have kids, but I worry about what the world's going to be like in 50 years.
Yeah. That's a deep topic. We can go into that for.
You don't want to go into that?
Bring up another
a relationship.
nonsense.
I typed in relationship advice. I
boy.
want to get Steve's advice on, but this is like, okay.
What's the comment saying? Anybody
Nobody's commenting.
filling in? No.
Today I was in town. Okay, here. Today I was in town when a random woman came up to me and asked if she could chat to me. I said yes. She started telling me how 6 months ago she had started messaging a guy on a dating site and how he seemed to be just the perfect man she wanted in every way. She said last month she had started to feel very emotional, so she had texted him some horrible things because she was scared of getting too close to him and being hurt. At that point, she started crying. She said she was 36 but had never had a proper relationship before. She was worried she had ruined the relationship. She then showed me a text she sent to him apologizing, and he had sent several back saying that he would rather end it. She was asking me if I thought she should try and continue the relationship because she said she was obsessed with him. By this point, she was sobbing. I advised her to try and move on because I said the relationship wouldn't work if he didn't want to be in it. They hadn't actually met each other anyway, only messaged online. Like people, this is the thing on dating sites. Okay, so
that was definitely herself that she's talking about. 100%.
You think so?
Yes. This random girl came up to me on the street and asked me if she could ask me a question, and then just told her that was her.
Okay, what's your experience with dating sites? I was going to ask you this because I got so bored this week that I got back on like a couple dating sites that I had been on a couple years ago. I remembered why I had gone off them. They're so terrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, did you ever go on them? Did you ever strike up conversations with anybody on these dating sites?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. They don't go anywhere. Though.
I know. Don't you find that's a thing? It's such a bullshit thing. It's like you're sitting there judging people based on what they look like, for one thing. And then you start having a conversation with someone. And I know from my point of view, even too, it's just like, how much time and effort do I really want to put into this? Do I really give a shit about this person? I don't even know who this person is.
How deep are you going to get over texting back and forth?
And someone that can just ghost you at the drop of the hat just for no reason. And it doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah, I don't like them. I don't know. I don't like texting. Like at the start of a relationship, I think texting back and forth sucks.
Well, texting and Snapchat and Messenger and all this dating sites and all that shit, I think is such poison for anyone trying to be in a relationship or have a relationship. Like, I wish I could just go back to the old days where there was shit going on all the time. You could go to the bar, you could go to a dance, or you could go to a friggin' fundraiser, and you could be just being yourself and catch the vibe of someone else that's there being themselves. And you could decide, even from a distance, if you like that person's vibe or if you're into that person. Yep. You don't have to, like, have the awkward, oh, we matched, so now we got to have a conversation, and now we got to ask all these random things to each other that, do you even trust the answer that you're getting? And then you're worried because it's texting, so you don't really get the right feel of what you're trying to say. You know how things can be lost in translation in text.
Well, and they can sit there and think about it for 4 minutes before they... Sorry. You know what the best first dates I've been on is going to like a concert or I've gone on a first date or second date kind of twice to Saskatoon Jazz Fest. Just for the night, because you typically don't know many people there, so you kind of got to be yourself to that person, or like right? Like you have that person's attentions, they have your attention, but you kind of get to see how they react in a public setting a little bit too.
Oh, you're judging them
a little bit, but if it goes good,
it's a test.
Kinda.
Is that your ultimate test?
Yeah.
Taking someone to a concert,
or taking somebody out in public where they maybe don't know, out of their comfort zone or something maybe they're passionate about. Maybe they just really love this band. Yeah. And you're like, I don't know that band, but they're so into it and they're talking about it. Yeah. And then the band comes on and they're just like, ah. And you're like, okay, I get why. I'm like, that's cool that you like that band. It's a different dynamic as opposed to texting back and forth for 3 weeks.
No, 100%. That's totally like what I was saying. You have to be in person and like observe a person in a natural habitat. You know what I mean? Like actual interaction, like you said, where they're not just interacting with you, they're interacting with other people too. Because that's super important. Because I've been in relationships where you're just one-on-one with the person, everything's tickety fucking boo, and then you get in front of other people and all of a sudden you look at that person and you're like, who the fuck are you? Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's weird. It's tricky.
It is tricky.
You know what's something we never even talked about this whole time? Our fucking show that we put on last weekend.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about that yet.
No, we haven't.
Let's wrap the show up by talking about that a little bit.
Okay, about the one night stand up.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to, at the beginning, I'm going to give you a shout out and give you props. I thought you were hilarious. And I'm glad that you addressed the elephant in the room that night. Everybody wondering if you and I were dating or boning, you said. I think those were your words.
Banging.
Yeah. Are they dating? Are they banging? What's going on here? That was funny. Until you compared me to a dusty, old, dilapidated grain bin that you didn't want to stick your fancy new swing away auger in. So I'd like to just publicly say, go fuck yourself, Steve. I'm the shiny piece of equipment. And this dusty grain bin is going to hold a lot of grain in the future, and it ain't going to be yours.
Okay.
It was hilarious, though. I loved it. The whole night was so fucking funny. Like, honestly, my 6 minutes of fame up there, I loved it.
Yeah, you were good too.
I I was shaky. I was a little bit nervous.
You started really strong. You came out of the gate hot.
I got a little nervous when I got into the middle, and I started thinking, oh, am I forgetting my jokes?
Mm-hmm.
I had that couple little moments there, but it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And the best part to me was afterwards, when everybody was just like thanking us for putting on such a good night and just getting everybody together and just making the opportunity for people to
go out and
laugh
yeah.
and have a good time, which is what you and I always are about anyways.
Yeah.
We just like to laugh.
Yeah. There's no other things you had to do. There was no, like sometimes when you go to events, you're representing your business or like it's a fundraiser or you gotta, there was none of that. It was just it was the community.
It was for fun.
Out.
It was a fundraiser.
Everybody was sitting with their friends.
Yeah.
And laughing at this hilarious comedian, which Kelly Taylor absolutely murdered.
Yeah.
He murdered the room.
It was so funny.
It was because we were sitting up by the VLTs on those high chairs, and I was periodically looking over the crowd to see if people were having fun.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody like smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
And just laughing in waves.
And everybody was engaged and paying attention and hanging on his every word. Like nobody was talking in the background being assholes. It was, everybody was right into it, and he would tell a joke and everybody would laugh. And he'd bang with another one and everybody would laugh, and it'd be quiet while he's setting up a story, and then everybody would laugh. And it was just, it was
He's
the
such
best.
a pro too.
Yeah.
He's one of the best in Canada,
He's
I think.
been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like you do anything for 20 years, you're going to get good, but he's just naturally funny.
So there was, when we were in Vancouver, back to my Vancouver thing, there was a couple guys from one of the companies that was kind of doing the meetings with us. And the whole Kelly, I don't know how Kelly Taylor got brought up. And then I said, yeah, we had him he came to Tisdale for a comedy show, and me and you did a podcast with him. And they're like, oh, you guys got a podcast? So they're gonna check us out. But they said that he talking about the Zoom stand-ups, that company was one of the companies that he did it to.
Oh, okay.
And he said, or this guy, like the guy was hilarious, like even over Zoom.
Yeah.
He said, we thought it was gonna be awkward and weird going into it, but he said, I was laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, so many compliments from people, and thank you for the compliments. Those are very nice.
And thank you for coming. And it sounds like everybody wants us to do it again in a couple months.
We'll do something.
We'll figure something out. We'll keep raising the fun.
Yeah, raising the fun.
All right, Steve. Well, should we
get out of here?
Sign out and
let's do it.
Have a fun Friday night.
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Did you figure out how to? Here, we'll just gotta exit.
Yeah, I ended the live video.
And then go here. And then stop streaming.